This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in live here on this fun Friday edition of the Meltdown as we broadcast yet again from the Culver studio, and we are thrilled to have you on board for another edition of the live show. Whether you're watching right here live between 2 and 3 Central, or whether you're watching us on demand or listening in the podcast section, we thank you for being a loyal Meltdonian here to the cause, as it has been one of the busiest weeks of our channel's history for sure. We've had major releases happen this week. We had Wicked that came out. We went and saw it Wednesday night. We have a full vlog up of our trip to the movies with our entire crew. We also have our full spoiler review that we shot. It's up for you as well. We also have covered Gladiator 2. We just got done talking with Lance Taylor of The Next Round about his thoughts for Gladiator 2. We've had that circled on the calendar for a long time because of his love of the 2000 Russell Crowe Gladiator. Did it live up to the hype for him? You'll have to check out in our review. It is a great discussion and a really great time. We appreciate him contributing right here to the Meltdown. I am Tim Melton. Across the room from me is Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, I am not a complainer. I promise.
Okay.
I do not like to complain.
Mhm.
However, we've had a very busy week.
We have.
And it's been fun, but like I feel like I'm on a bender. I feel like I'm losing wetness in my eyeball. Does that make sense? Like I feel like I'm tired and I just lay down to sleep out of need, and then I wake back up, and we've been producing a lot of content. I'm very happy about that, but I'm slightly exhausted here towards the end of the finish line.
Yeah, we have just been putting out an absolutely insane amount of content for you guys. We've got the Wicked review, the Wicked vlog showcasing all the different things at the premiere and all the little things that AMC is doing
Yeah.
for the Wicked movie. We've got the Gladiator review coming out later today. We reviewed A Real Pain. Was that this week as
That
well?
is also correct. We also had a big...
Wow, that feels like a long time
It
ago.
does. We had a big discussion on the next Batman villain,
Yes, we
potentially, the
did.
Batman Part 2. And we've also been consuming a ton of content, so that way we can then talk about it. Now, once again, none of these are complaints. They're just facts. So if we're just a little bit, I don't know, zombified today, we brought in some backup and an expert who can hopefully help us guide through this time of our lives. Because if there's one person in the office that is... it's a constant challenge for time management, I think it would be the one and only Taylor Korn, and we appreciate her being here live with us in the Culver studio. Taylor, how are you? I hope we haven't already made you upset with the amount of mild complaints we've had with our lack of energy that we have remaining.
No, it's that's understandable, and you can talk about it. Your feelings are validated. I will validate everyone's feelings.
You know, that's one of the very few
That
times I've heard that in this studio, and I appreciate that so much.
That was
Thank you.
comforting.
It was. So
Okay,
thank you.
guys.
We are wounded animals, and unfortunately, you've walked in here, and you know you're kind of seeing us not at our best. And I'm hoping to sort of pick your brain of how you manage sort of energy levels and time management on a weekly basis, because that's really, for those that want to see the curtain pulled back, that's half the job, is sort of managing your own institutions to be able to continue to produce more and more content, because it never stops.
It never stops, and it's a blessing and a curse because you have all of the content in the world at your fingertips, but at the same time, it's a little overwhelming, especially during this time of year because basketball and football are now starting to overlap. And basketball is manageable because you know that the games are going to be played on a Saturday. Well, there are some games that are in the middle of the week and stuff, but
Yep.
SEC games are going to be played on Saturday. And you know that, that's the day. So Friday's previewing, Saturday's insane, and then Sunday's kind of cleaning up the crumbs of what's left over that you didn't do Saturday. But now that basketball's in the mix, you have Monday. Or this week, I'll use this week as an example. I was in Auburn on Monday, and then thankfully the Alabama game was in Birmingham, so that was just right down the street. Wednesday, and then football Saturday. So it's just a lot. We've got a lot going on, but again, it's great.
It's great. We're very happy.
But it is exhausting.
But it is like very much how can I sneak in a bite and a trip down the longest hallway in the history of the world to go to the bathroom and then be where I need to be, clip what I need to clip, produce what
Yeah.
I need to produce. And it's a riveting, fun rush.
I couldn't even sneak in a bite. I'm eating right here. Got my chicken and my mac and cheese
I told
and my little
Tyler,
piece of cornbread.
full disclosure, I told Tyler it's perfectly okay for you to eat during the show. And the reason I told him that is because I've seen Tyler's life over the past couple of days. And
Yeah.
it's literally running from room to room, being pulled by who knows who. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Brownie, sometimes it's Reed, sometimes really I could name everyone in the office. Someone's pulling Tyler away. And the boy needs to eat. So let the boy eat. He's going to be feasting here on this fun Friday edition of the show.
I appreciate it, Tim. I know eating on camera is one of your big rules, so I'll try to cut around it.
Eating on camera, it's not. I don't want to sound like Dunaway. You're making me sound like
Well, I'm not.
Dunaway.
I probably a bad
Rules
bad
is bad.
word.
You know, now I'm not going to allow you to eat. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Put your food away.
No, when we were on location at Culver's has so many delicious items. Welcome to delicious, by the way. That's their tagline. And I didn't want us the whole entire time we were out at Culver's, just all of us eating at the same time on camera. Somebody has to actually do a show out there. You know what I mean?
And eating, hearing it, which you can't. I'm not saying this right now, but if I turn something on and
Yeah.
I could hear 3 people smacking their lips,
We're,
that
you
would
know,
be the
and
end.
some people like that content.
Yes, I don't get it. I don't get it. The ASMR stuff, and it's like a middle-aged man slurping up spaghetti. I'm like, what is going on?
Exactly.
Get out of here.
The internet is very much often, what room did I just walk into? You know,
Yes,
it's
and get me out. Where's the exit? That is my worst. That is actually my worst nightmare.
But if you are an ASMR fan, we have Tyler eating chicken tendons today for your listening enjoyment.
No,
Oh, there it
Tyler, I'm
was.
about to walk out.
No, please don't walk out. Okay. Okay, now you do need to stop. It's grossing
yeah,
me out.
that was too much.
That was so far over that you did not cross line. You ran past it.
Yeah, that is correct. So there's times today where we're going to be very relaxed on the show today, where I may end up just asking your advice of like, how do you feel like a normal person when you have so much that you are, working on? And do you take time, by the way? I mean, there are some big wins up here at Disrupt.
Mhm.
You take time to celebrate those big wins, or are you very much like you're being coached in a way that it's about the next game always? It's about the next event. It's about the next piece of coverage to where you don't really take the time to celebrate those wins because there's a lot of them. My favorite thing is when Ryan Brown actually posts like a screenshot of all the numbers and
Yeah.
milestones that are being hit and growth. And I really do like seeing that because it gives us all a chance to sort of reflect on, okay, whew, we can take a breath and go like, hey, we accomplished a lot of goals that we had for ourselves. I know you're a very goal oriented person,
I
especially
am.
when it comes to numbers. Do you ever take the time to celebrate?
No.
Honestly. Okay.
I need to, and it's my own issue because then I'm like, okay, well, I have 7 other things that I need to do. So if I don't do that, then by the time I'm done, sitting here and wallowing in the or not wallowing in sorrow, but whatever the opposite of that is, I what is it?
Overindulging in joy. How about
Yeah,
that?
that works.
Yeah. Then I'm like, okay, well, then I'm gonna have 9 things to do, so I might as well start marking off 2 of them, so
Yeah.
it's still 7 and it's not 12 by the time I'm done. But that's a personal problem. Like no one has made me that way besides myself. I stay a little bit stressed out, and I've always been like that in school too. And my mom's like, what you're doing right now is getting you nowhere.
Right.
You are describing my life.
Yeah.
So have y'all, I know Tyler, you're a gamer. Taylor, you're not a gamer.
No.
But have you ever heard of the video game The Sims?
Yeah, you make a family and do
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Or you can just have a single sim that you have.
yeah, and you
in the
do
house.
dishes and stuff.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
Yeah.
correct. It was a game that I found to be fascinating when it first came out in the early 2000s. And I feel now like a sim myself. Like I constantly have bars over my head telling me, you need to go do the dishes or you need to, go take a shower or you need to
Yeah.
eat and I feel like there's a lot of people that feel that way, but they can't get off the hamster wheel because the minute you do, your whole life falls apart.
Right.
So I think it's okay to say it out loud sometimes. And I don't think enough of us say it out loud that it's okay to feel a little overwhelmed
Oh
sometimes.
my gosh, all the time? Question mark.
Right. I thought you would relate to that,
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
but I also didn't know if you had figured it out yet, if you had any solutions.
No, I don't. I'm still working on that. And I mean, I don't think there is a solution
Yeah,
because the world's never going to stop spinning,
that is
you
correct.
know? So that's where I find myself getting tied up because if and we're in the world of breaking news and stuff like that too. So my issue is that I have my phone on me 24/7 because
Right,
I'm like something's going to happen.
right.
And that always the second that I go to get in the shower or, do something to where I can't be on my phone or I'll get in my car to start driving home. That's when something happens, it's always at the most inconvenient time. And so I think that that has built anxiety into
Right.
me to where I'm like, I have to have my phone on me and I have to be scrolling and refreshing Twitter because if not, I'm going to miss something. But like if you miss it, then
So
big deal.
back in the day, there were traditional deadlines where your coverage had to stop at a certain point because you
Yeah.
had to go to print or the newscast was there and you had to be ready to go. And so the story, you had to stop covering it and you had to start presenting it. With with social media and with phones and with all the different devices that we have attached to us at any given time, like every deadlines are constant. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, if I don't get this out now, I'm going to lose my mind because I will end up someone else will get it out before
Right.
me or something like that. And it just feels like I kind of miss the traditional slate of we've got to have something out by this time. So that's
Yeah.
why I guess I do enjoy doing the live show because I know every day at 2 o'clock we've got to come on with something. And today it is very much going like I hope that we can continue this level of production that we have on the Meltdown side, especially because we knew this was going to be a huge week with Gladiator and Wicked both coming out and being two huge pop culture events. I just wish that maybe they would have come out a week apart. It would have been very good on our lives, Tyler.
Oh yeah, I could have used some separation. I guess I did have more separation than you did because I went to the screen unseen on Monday, which ended up being Gladiator.
But you were also
But
stuck in a holding pattern where you couldn't really discuss it or talk about it for 4 days.
it's
So
true.
I feel like
That's
that's
true.
tough too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
And you've also got the issue of if for some stories, if we don't put it out that day or we're even a little bit late on it,
yeah,
it's kind of dead.
it's old news
We
at that
we
point.
missed the moment.
Got some fresh news for you, Tyler.
Ooh,
And I want you to brace yourself. Buckle up because initially you're going to be very sad. You ready?
I'm ready.
They've announced that Monsters Inc. Land will officially be replacing Muppets Courtyard and Muppet Vision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Okay, so I love Monsters Inc., but I love the Muppets more.
Right, you're a huge Muppet fan.
Yeah.
I do wish Brian Pavlik was here to be able to react to this because you and him, y'all bond over your Muppet fandom for sure. And a lot of people were begging Disney not to get rid of the Muppet Vision 3D because it's the last thing Jim Henson worked on before he passed away. Well, they are getting rid of it, but here's sort of the good news. The Muppets will now be taking over the Rock and Roller Coaster with Electric Mayhem, and it's going to be the Muppets with a bunch of rock stars on a roller coaster that goes upside down in the dark that used to, or I
It
guess
used to be the Aerosmith roller
it's
coaster.
still
How do you feel about that?
it still is right now. It needs an update. It still is the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster right now, but it's about to change with Muppets and with who knows how many rock appearances. I think it's a win-win all the way around because Muppet Vision 3D was showing its age, and that roller coaster needed an upgrade, needed a new, fresh coat of paint post Aerosmith.
Maybe it's just my sort of nostalgia talking and the fact that I'm not like an avid Disney goer. I've only been to maybe once or twice for the Muppet Vision, but I remember really enjoying it. But that being said, I haven't seen 2024 Muppet Vision Theater.
Yeah,
I imagine the seats are getting worn down, and
bingo.
so in
That's
that
the problem.
yeah,
Yes.
in that case, why not just fix all the seats and keep the last thing that Jim Henson ever worked on, and also goes to Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster because that's an amazing idea.
Every year that I would go to the Muppet Vision 3D show, there were less and less people that were going into those screenings. I mean, it's just, I think they held on to it as long as they could. and now it's time to they need the real estate for the Monsters Inc. land too. It seems like it's a perfect time to enhance the Muppet presence while also saying goodbye to a big piece of Jim Henson history here. But I was wondering how you would feel about it because I think it's actually the best way to introduce the Muppets to younger park goers to where it doesn't become like what we talked about with Star Trek and Star Wars,
I feel like the
where
younger park goers wouldn't want to sit in the theater shows
correct,
as much as they would the high adrenaline thrill rides, and Rock and Roller Coaster is one of the few
right,
at the entirety of Disney World.
exactly, which is why I think it's a big win for your IP that you care about having a fan base continue on with it. It's a great way to introduce that, I think, to younger people.
Do they have like a studio backlot tour or anything like that?
Not at Hollywood Studios,
Okay.
no.
I was gonna say if they did, or some sort of look back at Disney World previous and
No.
previous Disney properties, you could keep the Muppet Vision video at least as like an exhibit there.
Yeah, that may be a separate ticketed event where it's, you can buy it months in advance or something. They'll figure out a way to charge for anything, but it's not like Universal does, where they have the tram that goes through all the different movie
See,
history.
yeah, that's what
It's
I
not
was
like
thinking.
that.
I gotcha.
But the Muppets kind of getting a facelift there. All right.
Smuff says there's not enough Monsters Inc. movies enough for a land. He says 2 movies
Well,
isn't enough.
what do you think's going to happen?
Well, I guess I would make more of them, but I
Bingo.
personally
Ding, ding,
think
ding.
just with the factory, a little city area that leads you to the university,
Yeah.
that's plenty for a section of a park. That's just me.
Taylor,
Yes.
what was like the go-to? Was there any film that you identify with your childhood as you saw it young and you immediately loved it?
I'm told I was a Monsters Inc. fan. I'm told though that I loved Air Bud.
That
But
is a
That tracks.
well, it is a sports movie.
I was scared of it though a little too. My mom said that I wanted to watch it all the time, but whenever the clown showed up, they would have to come fast forward because I would get terrified. But I loved the rest of it,
He
so I
was
would
mean to
watch
that
it.
dog.
Yeah. So that was my that and Monsters Inc. are the two that I really remember.
So Monsters Inc. was one of those because it sounds like we planned this now and we didn't.
No, 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 no. That Air Bud is what I think I would always want to watch. But I that was my other movie.
Was Air Bud a Disney movie? I'm trying to remember.
It
I've no
was. It
clue.
was Buena Vista Pictures,
Okay.
that live action offshoot of Disney.
I wonder if the Air Bud property will ever have any life brought back into it, but
Well, they tried to keep it going with like Air Buddies and Snow Buddies, and then there was a Space Buddies.
was there a
Yes, there was.
No way.
I had the DVD, Tim.
Basketball playing dogs in space?
Well, they don't play basketball anymore. They just go to space.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Okay.
And then Snow Buddies was basically like 8 Below,
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Well, no, that was Snow Dogs.
Oh, that was Snow Dogs. 8 Below. Who was in 8 Below?
Don't I don't have any idea, Tyler. You brought this information to the table. I don't remember Eight Below at all. While you look into it, though, I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Not the number 8 here; it's the number 10. With 10 with Tim, I've got 10 questions. We got about 10 minutes or so, so make sure if you're in the chat, you are answering along with the panel here. But if you have more or less than 10 teeth, I recommend that you reach out
Paul
to the
Walker.
dental team. Paul Walker was in that one. Yes, I remember now. Reach out to the dental team that we trust most, located on Grants Mill Road. Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates. They provide all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. Whether you have a nagging toothache or you need to get on top of those regular cleanings, they're there for you. Maybe you're new in town and need to make sure you have a dentist on standby. Reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. They're accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of those upcoming dental procedures. For more information or make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com where they look forward to seeing you. I do feel like it would have been a perfect time for Tyler to bite something during
No.
that segment. No? No more of that?
I can bite some cornbread in a second.
I honestly thought that was a Twinkie for a second.
It
when you
it is
held
not
up.
a Twinkie. I've never been a Twinkie fan.
I haven't been a Twinkie fan. either.
I don't like the cream. It's like, have you ever had something so sweet and sugary to the point where it almost feels gritty?
Gritty isn't the word I would use
like-
for the Twinkie. Are you
But like it's so sugary, it's got a bite to it. You know what I mean?
yeah, like a sugar cookie sort of feel to
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah. That's just not been my experience with Twinkie for some reason. Twinkie always sounds like a good idea, and then I'm not fulfilled. So that's where
Well,
I'm at there.
quick check in here. Hunter says Airbud is a kids Fast and Furious franchise, which yeah, it is.
I
They
guess
they
so.
they, they went from playing sports to going to space.
All right, we have 10 questions. Are you ready? Everybody ready?
Ready.
Now
Ready.
these could no, but the panel does not know what I'm about to ask, so it could be anything, and we hope that you'll participate in the chat. Here we go. Question number 1. Taylor Korn, who is your personal favorite rapper? If you had to pick just one.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. I think we've talked about this.
Yes.
And I am also a big Lil Wayne fan.
Really?
As well. Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
I like Mrs. Officer.
Okay, my
That's a good
favorite's
one.
How to Love.
Okay, you like How to Love?
Yep.
Tyler was looking at me very like he doesn't think that I have the chops. Like he was looking at me very much like there's
I've
no
never heard you talk about it before, so
Yeah, you just get to know me, Tyler. You
Mm.
know, you go to all these movies alone. You ever invite me? I mean, come on, guy. No,
all
I'm just
right.
kidding.
Do you want to go see Hit Pig?
I do not. But I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Wayne's in that for some reason. My question to you, Tyler, is who's your personal favorite rapper? You can only choose one. I don't want to hear a list. I don't want to hear a short list. I don't want to hear your top 5. We've done that. It's not very fun. Let's go with number 1 on your list, personal favorite rapper.
Oh, if I had to pick one.
Just one. He's thinking. I want it to be right, so take your time.
I'm gonna go with the Wu-Tang Clan because that's 9.
Let's see what he did there. I
Ah,
felt like he got the most bang for his buck
I get
there.
RZA, Jizza, and Old Dirty,
Okay, I can't, once again, my knowledge doesn't
and
go that
Method
deep.
Man.
You a big Kendrick Lamar fan?
I do like Kendrick, but I just don't listen to him very often.
He just dropped a
New
new
album,
album,
yeah.
and it is called GNX, and it features Jack Antonoff, which if I'm thinking of,
That's the fun guy, right?
that's the fun guy, that's the Bleachers guy, that is the Taylor Swift producer guy, which is what he's known as now. SZA
SZA.
and Kamasi Washington. Is this a name you know? I
Nope.
guess I know it and you don't. 12 tracks on this GNX album. It has a roster of contributors that appear on songs like Luther and Gloria. So if you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, you can check out that album, which has just dropped. All right, question number 2. Taylor, do you like the Outback Bloomin' Onion? Are you a fan?
I've never had it.
Whoa,
Well,
whoa.
you've never had a bloomin' onion?
How
Is
old,
that
am I allowed
rare?
to ask how old you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I turn 25 next week.
Okay, you turn 25 next week and you've gone through this entire life of yours without ever having sampled an Outback Bloomin' Onion.
Yes. Have most people eaten that? Am I in the minority?
You are in the
I might
minority.
be. I
so,
don't know.
yeah.
I'm genuinely asking.
You're in the minority.
Okay. No, I've never had one.
Would you be able to identify it if we were to bring in a list of menu items into here? Would you know which one the Bloomin' Onion was? Could you see it and immediately know what it was?
I believe so. It looks like a fried flour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've seen it on the internet before.
Someone was doing a mukbang of Outback and they were doing a ASMR challenge with that. And Taylor, was like, oh, I actually like this one.
You know that actually exists somewhere out there.
1000%.
Yeah.
That wasn't a reach. What the reach was that Taylor would consume that content. Okay, we got to get Taylor an Outback Bloomin' Onion.
Yeah,
at
I'll
some
try
point.
one
Yeah.
one day.
It comes with the sauce. It's got the Bloomin' sauce.
See, I'm a big sauce girl. So, but is it just I don't know. Is it oniony? How oniony is this?
Very
onion?
oniony.
Yeah, see,
It's a fried onion.
I don't like onions.
Well, then that's probably going to
Or
be
I don't like raw onions. So I might like
is
this.
fried onions. So,
Okay. So it's an onion ring.
basically, it's
In a better shape.
It's an onion ring posing as a flower.
it burns your hands, falls apart, and tastes delicious.
Okay.
So we need to try this at some point.
Okay.
One day we're going to treat you to a Bloomin' Onion.
Oh, thank you.
Taylor's like, I'm up for it.
I am.
Tyler, do you like the Outback Bloomin' Onion?
Yeah, I like it. I just never go to Outback. I haven't been there in years. They got good bread there.
What's the chat saying about the Bloomin' Onion? Because I have a feeling that if we have anything, we have a bunch of experts on the Bloomin' Onion.
Charles says he's had one bloomin' onion in his life. He says it's pretty good though. Russell says he used to like bloomin' onions until City Stages. I'm not sure what that means.
That's some horrible story there. I
Yeah,
assume a porter potty was involved.
I assume so. Jeff says it's one of his faves. Nick says he likes him, but his wife likes the breading, but not the actual onion. So she peels that off and dips it in the sauce.
I
Okay.
wonder if you could order a bloomin' onion without the onion. Like, I wonder what they'd bring you. Would it
Well,
just
Just like a
according to Jeff, they have bloomin' fried chicken.
they do.
but
I
is that
know
not
this.
just a chicken finger?
Yeah, wouldn't
The bloomin' fried chicken is not
Mm.
even comparable to the bloomin' onion, in my opinion. I've had both. Not even comparable. Okay, we go to the next question. Name someone, Tyler, with a very annoying laugh.
have you ever seen the show Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek?
Yes.
I have.
The
It's on
cackle.
Yeah,
MTV.
yeah. Taylor knows what I'm talking about.
Is that the one where they kind of show videos and they
Yes, it's
react to them?
basically just reaction videos, but it's a show on MTV.
Right.
Um, there's a girl on the panel. Her name's Chanel West Coast. She cackles and it kind of sounds like a dolphin or like SpongeBob. It's really bad. One
That
of the
sounds
worst
bad.
laughs I've ever heard.
That sounds really bad. My question to you, Taylor Korn, name someone with a very annoying laugh.
I don't know. I kind of love laughs.
Is there not a bad one out there where you're like,
I think
oh,
I kind of have a bad one.
you do not have a bad laugh?
Oh,
Or I think it kind of sounds like I'm having an asthma attack.
Okay, I'm going to attempt at some point during the show to.
I have to. I have
Are
to.
you
I'm
faking the laugh? Be
no,
honest.
no. I'm not faking it. I'm just laughing at the situation, but I'm not going to be able to really do it. But I don't know. I've never heard someone laugh and be like, "Stop laugh," and wanted to scream at them because it's annoying me so
I'll
bad.
do one. Are you
Okay.
ready? And no one has to agree with this. It's perfectly fine if you don't want to. Kamala Harris had a really bad
Oh
laugh.
yes,
oh yeah, yeah.
the cackle.
She did.
It sounds fake to me a
It
lot of the time.
was.
It was.
Okay.
That's,
Okay.
that's the problem.
Okay, then yeah. That's okay. I didn't think of that. Yeah. But typically I love hearing people have laughter is the best medicine. I
So
love a laugh.
this is why she didn't win the election, because Taylor Korn literally loves everyone's laugh except for Kamala Harris's.
Yeah, I didn't love hers. Sorry, sister.
Okay. Well, she's not laughing now. Here we go.
Chat check in
Oh
here.
gosh, I'm
I've
worried.
never seen so many people like unanimous on one answer. It's Fran Drescher from The Nanny, which is a perfect answer to that question.
It's iconic too.
Yeah, it's an iconic bad laugh. Charles says Seth Rogen. I kind of like his laugh, but I get the annoyance with it. And then Boomer says it's Boomer.
Boomer does have the worst laugh now that I think of it. Kamala Harris, Boomer. That's where it is. It was like it was a
It's like a foghorn.
Taylor, we're in the theater on Wednesday night. Okay, Boomer has tracked us down and has decided to go see a movie that we're also in. And there's a moment on screen where there's a joke made,
Mhm.
mildly funny joke. It's kind of brings a smile. No one laughs in the theater, but Boomer lets out this noise that is supposedly a laugh, but it sounds as if a desk is being moved in school. Like
Yes.
on the school floor.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
and it's really bad.
Was it real?
Oh, it was loud, real. You felt it in your bones. Like it wasn't just you heard it and you're like, is something wrong with the speaker? You felt it.
No,
It like,
I was 3 rows ahead of them, and I heard it and looked back. Like,
yeah,
what in
What's
the
going
world?
on?
what happened? Who's moving furniture in here? That's what I thought. Like,
Oh no, Boomer.
and so Boomer has a really bad laugh. It was it was like a penguin
It
was
wa-
stuck to an iceberg and
It
was
was
in
like the
distress.
penguin from Toy Story with the
the
broken squeaker. He
yeah.
goes,
Yeah, it was bad. Anyway,
"We love you, Boomer."
we've only told that story 15 times now. Here we go. What is the current percentage charge on your phone battery right now, Taylor Korn? Current percentage charge.
30.
Oh my gosh. I would feel like I was going to go missing and no one would be able to find me if I got down to 30. I have to keep my phone at least above 50 at all times to feel
So,
comfortable.
well, my issue with the battery on all devices is I have 4 devices sitting on my desk that need to stay charged, and right now I only have 1 charger because I have lost a few and I left a few at home. So it's a rotation. It's musical chairs on the charger. So right now, but I know that I'm about to get in the car to drive to Auburn for the game tomorrow.
So you
And
know you'll get the juice there.
right. So I'm not worried about it. But I've been using, like, I have to use it to work. So, I'm posting everywhere. So
I get it. It's a game
yeah.
of charging whack-a-mole, basically, where you just are like, what device is in desperate need the
Right.
most? Okay, let me water those flowers.
Correct.
Got it. That's how bloomin' onions are made. My question to you, Tyler, what's your current percentage on your phone right now,
Let me check.
battery-wise? I'm
It
at
is.
85%.
I am at 69%.
You're making that
I
up.
swear.
You know what the first thing is that went in my head when you said that? Like, that's why, I don't know. It's like, I heard Boomer do his laugh. Like,
He probably is doing his laugh now.
multiple counties over, I heard it.
Does it echo?
It, it it's like a
It
missile strike.
carried.
I thought the theater was being attacked. I thought that there had been something. It's like that scene from Conclave. There's a very deep cut because no one's seen Conclave.
Nobody watched it.
But
Sure.
like, there's an explosion in Conclave. That's like,
Yeah.
oh, and then by the way, we have our Conclave review up for the 3 of you that have seen Conclave. Okay,
Yeah, shout out to you guys.
shout out to you guys. We appreciate all 3 of your support because y'all have watched it a total of 3 times a piece. So thank you so much. Okay, next question here. Conclave, a decent movie. What's the best thing that includes caramel, Tyler? It's the best thing that includes caramel.
If we're going foods,
It can be foods,
Wait.
it can be candies, it can be anything with caramel.
I'm gonna go with a Twix.
Dang it. That was my answer. Caramel macchiato.
That was my other answer. Yep.
So y'all both had each other's alternate answers and
I-
original answers?
Well,
Correct. That's what it sounds like.
That's amazing.
Well, my first thought was a caramel apple, but those in
Sound
my,
like a
my
good idea.
teeth after.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of teeth problems,
Yeah.
no, I've already talked about Alabama Dental Associates, but you should go see them.
Burn that read.
It will cause you some major issues. But I like them every now and then. My mom will randomly get some. Well, I don't know if she does anymore because I don't live there anymore, but she would randomly have some in the fridge. But then my other thing, because what else is caramel in? I was trying to think of things that caramel was in, and I like a Twix, and then I think about
Snickers?
I like a Twix more than Snickers.
I do
Me
too.
too.
I am Team Twix, and there's so many more Team Snickers people, it feels like.
Yeah, like Twix, Blizzard, or whatever.
The Twix Blizzard is your go-to?
Or whatever. I just said Blizzard, but any of those places that
Yeah, that
that
have
you
like
that you can mix candy into ice cream. Yeah.
my favorite place to go have that done, and it's custard, is at Culver's.
Culver's.
I mean, they have
It's
all types of great
delicious.
flavors there. I really love the marshmallow cream.
Never had it.
It's marshmallow cream. You put it in the malt there, you blend that in. And I typically like to go with some of the chocolate cake, and it's all blended up in there.
Oh,
It's
yum.
really, really good.
Okay,
You
we
went
can
sugar cookies one time.
I went sugar cookies one time, and I feel like I'm going back to Team Chocolate Cake on this.
All right.
Okay, let's get that after a bloomin' onion.
We're just going to live it up. We're going to all need showers desperately after we're done. Okay, here we go. Even though we respect the profession, I want to put that out there. Taylor, even though we respect the profession, because I don't want to see us canceled, we're putting this out. This is what they'll clip out and eventually hit us with. What's something that immediately makes you frustrated with a waiter or waitress?
Ooh.
Because there are little things that they can do that immediately sort of put you on sort of a red flag.
This doesn't even really have to be a waiter or waitress. This can also be someone that is like going through, if you're going through a drive-through, the person that's working where they hand you the stuff out. But if someone, I'm trying to think of something I can do. I can use this as an example, I guess, but it doesn't have a lid. But hand me your cup. Like, don't grab the cup with where my mouth is touching. That cup would be a better example. But if you're handing me your cup, I'm the patron, or you're the patron, and I'm handing you the cup through the screen. Don't do this. Do not do that. That's disgusting. Just hand it like this. Don't put your hands like, I don't know. That's just
I
kind
know
of
exactly what
unsanitary.
you're
Yep.
saying.
So, I don't know. I guess that frustrates me. It more so
Well-
grosses me out.
Let me ask this. Have you ever been in a situation where you order a drink and it comes back with a straw already in it? Have you ever had that happen?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't typically drink out of straws. I don't
Okay.
know why.
Well, if that ever happens, I'll typically take the straw out just because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Who unwrapped this?
I mean, it's rare, but when it happens, it's noticeable. So be on the lookout for that.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Tyler, I'm sorry.
I'm horrified by
Yep.
the thought of like somebody unwrapping a straw and putting it in my drink.
Yeah, with their
Uh-uh.
bloomin' onion
It
hands.
Yeah.
happens. It happens. I'm not saying it's just Outback, and neither is Taylor,
No.
but it could happen where you're somewhere near you.
Never happened to me, thank
Somewhere
God.
near you.
Yeah, it could be out front or out back. All right, my question to you, Tyler, I'm so sorry for that joke. What is something that a waiter or waitress can immediately do that sort of sends red flags all around?
Um, red flags all around.
Something that makes you frustrated with a waiter or a waitress, somebody handling your food. Do you get frustrated when people don't write down the order when they're taking your order?
Oh, yeah, if you're like a, "Oh, don't worry, I'll remember it," kinda person, yeah, don't do that, don't do that. You will not remember it. The times where that has happened, best case scenario is it comes back wrong. Worst case scenario has been it comes back wrong with ingredients that someone in my party was allergic to.
Oh,
Oh, no.
I remember you
Yeah,
telling this story.
I did tell this story. Yeah, she's allergic to onions, and
No, this has not
Oh my
been her episode.
No.
Let me tell you, this episode, not for her. Stay away from this one. Anyway, please continue.
yeah, and we were at a breakfast place, and she orders hash browns or something,
Jeez.
and we're there a lot, so the waitress was like, "Oh, I know how you like them. I don't even worry about it. I don't have to write it down."
Mm,
No, no, that
Uh,
is not how she likes
lawsuit waiting
them
to
or
happen.
has ever ordered them because
that's not good.
allergic.
Not good. Not good at all. Okay, let's go with this one. Tyler, do you consider yourself to be photogenic?
No,
Okay. Uh, Taylor, do you consider yourself to be photogenic?
I hate taking pictures. So, I mean, I don't know.
There are people who light up when pictures are being taken, and then there's people who want to hide in the darkest shadows when pictures are being taken.
I don't necessarily wanna hide, like, whatever, but I just never take them. I just don't like doing it. I would rather just sit here and talk than have to smile for photos. But, I mean,
It's also a necessary evil to be able to, not only produce content some places with your job, but also social media is built on the selfie, and those
yeah.
have to be documented sometimes when you're out doing
Yeah,
crazy.
and I like to have my issue is I like to have pictures, but I hate to take them because I like to remember little Lincoln loves to just scroll through my camera roll and watch videos and random stuff, and whenever we're sitting doing that, it reminds me of great times. So I've started to be better to try to be better about documenting the things that I do because sometimes you just forget. Life moves fast. So, but I don't know. I mean, I've never been great at stopping and doing that. It's something that I'm working on.
You wouldn't believe this, but I have a stylist. And this stylist I've been going to for years. And I have not been able to book an appointment with this stylist all football season, if you can't tell. And my wife wanted to get family photos made, and I had an appointment with my stylist, and it didn't work out because I ended up having to pick up an extra shift here that canceled my appointment, and I couldn't rebook because they were booked. And so I ended up taking the family photos looking like this. And my wife has not referenced those family photos since. There's one where the photographer was like, okay, I want you to reach behind your wife and hug her and grab her like you're, just so you just want to just grab her and just hug her. And she says it's not going to feel natural, but do it. It turns out to be the best photo every time. And I'm like, okay, but I'm sure this works for normal size people. We're in a park and I'm jumping out of some bushes, grabbing my wife, doing a pirate's eye for some reason. I'm doing like a, and the photos came back and they're horrifying. And I'm talking about I look like a monster that is attacking this poor woman as she is out there just enjoying nature. And I never want these photos to see the light of day. Now, will that mean that Tyler somehow ends up with a copy of this photo and plasts it all over a future episode? Potentially. But I look insane. And we haven't talked about the family photos since. Anyway, I say all that to say I sent a photo to my stylist and said, I have a problem. and they've changed their hours, and I just cannot get to them. And I'm worried I'm going to go through Thanksgiving like this, and people are going to think that I don't have my life in order.
No, you need to continue growing it out. I think it makes you look wise, like you're always about to just drop some sage wisdom on someone.
I look like an insane person, and I'm scaring people around town when they see me.
Around
I'm
town.
not kidding. People look at me differently, and they're
Aw.
very scared because I'm
I'm sorry.
already a giant. You can't
Yeah.
tell because I'm kind of sitting down, but when I stand up, if you were to put me and Taylor next to one another, there's a clear difference in size, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I'm tired of being the scary monster that
Aw,
scares everybody.
I'm sorry.
So,
It's okay, Taylor. It's all right.
Jeff in the chat, he has a great idea. I I think we need to, before you shave this beard, we need to go out and recreate the Bigfoot footage.
No, I'll get shot and sent to a museum, and they'll think it's the real deal, and my carcass will be there for all of the visiting the Smithsonian to see. I've thought about going out and pretending to be Bigfoot. I'll be murdered,
No, I mean,
and then
you know, just you and me, so we don't have to worry about any stray bullets. But I think it'd be a
no,
good shot.
no, that's the one time a
With
hunter is
you
up in a
walking and
tree.
just
Yeah, waiting for you to come.
Yeah, no, I don't need to do that. That would be a horrible idea. Me,
now that you mention it, there in my old neighborhood there was a Bigfoot hunter that killed
Bigfoot hunter.
a Bigfoot hunter that killed her husband in his sleep right across the street.
Wait, what?
This
She
is-
thought her husband was Bigfoot?
I don't think that was part
Tyler,
of it.
the
But,
floor is yours. This
well, see, unfortunately, that's all the details I have.
what? How did this come up?
This lady and her husband, they were like squatch hunters. They were like the people you would see in these shows that go out in the woods at night
With
and like
weapons?
I assume so, but with traps and such, and go looking for squatches
And
and
you want to
chupacabras.
and you want to put me in this situation. Think about that. Think about
Well,
how dangerous that
I
is.
mean, we're staging it for social media. Obviously, we're not putting you directly in like
That's
with the squatch hunters.
whoever these people are need to find a better use of their time because they're never gonna find it.
I guess
Well,
they,
oh, she's got plenty of free time now in prison.
Oh, true.
next question. What's the best type of cupcake? Taylor, we'll start with you. Describe the perfect cupcake.
So I like to eat a cupcake with a side of ice cream. I'm I'm a good I like to mix or not mix them up physically, but I like to have a bite of cupcake and a bite of ice cream. I don't love just straight chocolate cake. If it's or it can't be chocolate cake and chocolate icing, chocolate cupcake and chocolate icing. I'm a vanilla ice cream and vanilla cupcake kind of girl.
Vanilla ice cream, vanilla cupcake with what flavored icing on the cupcake?
Strawberry.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So if you're ever at a party and they're like, "Would you like ice cream and cake?" You're quick to say, "Yes,
Yes.
both, please."
Yes. I
And it's a
always
good
like ice cream.
combo.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good combo.
agree.
All right, Tyler, what's the perfect cupcake?
Um, I don't like the icing on cupcakes that they normally use. Um, if it's not like a cream cheese or like a buttercream or I mean I guess I like strawberry icing as well. But other than that, I just prefer pound cake. So if it was just like a little vanilla cake pound cake, I would take those down.
Where can you find those? I don't know. There's not a ton
I
of
assume you would just have to make them.
yeah.
But normally, the way I enjoy a cupcake is I pick it up, I take the little plastic knife, and I go and get rid of all the icing, and then I eat it.
You monster.
If it's vanilla, I don't like chocolate cupcakes.
Okay. I like a chocolate cupcake with white icing. I like a
Okay.
devil's food cupcake. Give me some white icing. But Hunter in the chat talked about red velvet cupcakes.
Oh, yeah.
I also love red velvet cupcakes.
Yeah, with the cream cheese, vanilla, or
Yes.
whatever the flavor just the white cream cheese icing is.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. All right, next question. I think I know the answer to this, but we're going to see. Tyler, are you a fan of Tom Petty music?
Yeah, I like Tom Petty.
You like Tom Petty?
Yeah.
You like Tom Petty music, Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would seek it out on a regular basis, but I don't have an issue.
Have you ever seen a game at the Swamp? Have you ever been to the Swamp and seen the
No.
Florida Gators play? Because they love themselves some Tom Petty.
I have not.
Okay. I am not a big Tom Petty fan.
Okay.
When I hear a Tom Petty song, typically I'm like, can't wait for whatever the next thing is that comes on. However, with the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, they did a deep cut Tom Petty song as sort of the background to that. I don't remember what the name of that song is,
I forget it too, but that
but I
trailer's
have it on
awesome.
my playlist now, and every time it comes up, it makes me happy because I immediately associate it with Grand Theft Auto 6, which we cannot wait for. But you want to talk about a game where we're going to do an overnight playthrough. I don't know. Can we do that on this channel? I mean, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be pretty intense.
I mean,
You think
yeah,
so?
yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, we'll avoid the areas where like you
The
know what I'm
things we
saying.
can't talk about?
Yeah, yeah, the
That's, I guess,
things
what I was talking about.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But back to Tom Petty.
Yeah.
If you're not a big Tom Petty fan, check out Sam Elliott's cover of "I Won't Back Down." Very good.
Is that like artificially
No,
made or is
no,
it real?
it's real. It was made for I think it was 2004 or 2006, maybe. The movie Barnyard on Nickelodeon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Nickelodeon.
That's a deep cut. Question number 10, final question here on 10 with Tim. Somehow we've made it through. Question 10. Who, Tyler, is your all-time favorite baseball player?
I don't have one, I guess.
Okay.
I
No baseball player at all. Have you ever, as a little kid, gone, you know what? I really like that guy.
I've never liked baseball.
So no baseball player whatsoever.
I mean,
It's fun.
I like the Shohei Ohtani story.
Okay, go with
if
that.
that can, yeah,
That works.
yeah,
That works. Taylor, who's your all-time
he's a
favorite
gambling man.
baseball player? Baseball, not your favorite sport.
No. Never been a big baseball girl. Hmm. I don't know.
Take your time. I got a nominee for you.
Okay.
Bo Jackson.
That would be a good answer
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
I think that Bo Jackson works for
I think that that's a great answer. I don't know.
taste.
I mean, I never really I watch the Detroit Tigers sometimes with my family if they have it on because they're obviously
Michigan people.
fans,
Yeah,
right? But other than that, I'm not a big, but yes, that's a great answer.
there
And
you go.
I will adopt that answer.
Take that and run with it. You know what? I'll go with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's my favorite baseball player of all time, huh?
Shoot, that is a good one. Played for Birmingham at that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, Tyler, represent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to do it for 10 with Tim. Anything from the chat we need to go ahead and get out there, Tyler, before we move on to one of our main topics?
Charles says the GTA trailer song is "Love Is a Long Road."
That is
So,
correct.
cleaning up a little bit of Deadwood there.
You've been around Jim too long.
Russell prefers vanilla cupcakes with maple bacon icing.
Very
What-
specific.
Where do you get that?
That donut, there's a donut place by here that does not cupcakes, obviously, but
The maple donuts.
yeah, I don't know about that. Sweet and savory combined.
Yeah, come on, Russell, get your life together. All right. Thank you for that chat check-in. Let's talk a little bit about checking in with our family and our loved ones, and a lot of people going to Friendsgiving as well. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. It's coming up next week, and I am so happy and I love our family, but I'm so happy we're not hosting this year. Normally we host Thanksgiving,
Oh,
and it turns us into monsters.
Yeah.
And because there's so much preparation that has to be done, I very much like being in the car and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing this time around. So Thanksgiving is on the way, and AAA projects that 79.9 million travelers will head 50 miles or more from home over the Thanksgiving holiday travel period. For the first time, AAA's forecast includes the Tuesday before and the Monday after Thanksgiving Day to better capture the flow of holiday travelers. This year's projection of nearly 80 million travelers is an increase of 1.7 million people compared to last year and 2 million more than in 2019. Taylor, do you have any sort of travel plans for Thanksgiving?
So my Thanksgiving actually is we used to go to Michigan for Thanksgiving. And then we kind of stopped doing that because when we got to college and all of our schools, whatever, y'all don't care about this. We used to go to Michigan, and I'm trying to get better at leaving unnecessary details out of stories.
I like unnecessary details.
And we stopped doing that because life got crazy. So typically we'll stay here and we'll host at or I won't host. I'll also go to my parents' house. My parents will host. And about a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point, I'm at the lake. And now, okay, so my brother lives in Oregon. My sister is married now, so she has, I guess, her own other family. And
Typically how that works.
yeah. And I'm leaving the lake a couple weeks ago, and my mom was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, your dad and I are leaving for Thanksgiving." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, we just assumed that you probably couldn't come because of work. And I was like, okay.
I'm so
So
sorry.
I am traveling. No, I'm fine. But I'm going to Mobile. That's where my boyfriend lives. So I'm just driving down there, which I like it down there. It's by the water and it'll be great, but not a traditional Thanksgiving for me this year because my parents decided to leave me.
Once again, I'm sorry for
No,
asking
I'm
the
really
question. Thanksgiving
no.
brings out the worst in all of us. Am I right? It's like,
Don't apologize. I'm not hurt by it. I was like, y'all have
no,
fun.
Taylor, you keep doing this thing where you go like, no, I'm fine. Don't overreact. My
Yeah.
life's just falling apart, and my parents, they've abandoned me.
Yeah, they kind
Like,
of
you
did.
can't do both. You can't be like, I'm perfectly fine. By the way, can you hand me the fire extinguisher? Like, you can't do
Yeah.
both.
No.
And I feel like it's okay to be hurt on this program. Like,
I'm really not though. Because Thanksgiving so this is the
5
thing.
seconds later, but I am as well.
No, no. I'm not hurt by it because we work on Fridays. So
Mhm.
it's not like I can do much anyways. I would probably go over there Thursday morning and then come home Thursday night. So it's more fun for them to go. And I'm fine. Like I don't really care.
So, Tyler, Thanksgiving, are you planning on traveling more than 50 miles by chance? Are you one of these 79.9 million travelers? I am traveling
No,
more than 50
no,
miles. No?
no.
You're gonna anchor down.
Yeah, yeah. I've got some family in Birmingham. We're just meeting up there. I don't get to see my parents either, though, Taylor. My dad's a nurse, and people like to get sick and also get
Yeah.
hurt,
Yeah,
even when it's a holiday.
that is
Yeah.
correct. All those people who think they've got the temperature on the turkey just right out there on the deep fryer, and the next thing you know, they turn into a blooming
Bloomin'
onion.
onion.
Or they get a
You saw that coming a mile away. You spent too much time in the studio. That's what's happening. Like,
A bloomin'
you
onion.
filled it in like it was a puzzle. Like you were like, it was like it was a crossword that you had filled out. You're like, bloomin' onion.
A
I'm like,
bloomin' onion. Sorry, I just
no,
ruined
it's okay. No, you're good. Okay. Um, I'm glad that none of us are flying for Thanksgiving.
Wait, where are you going?
I am going to Northwest Alabama, so I'll be
Okay.
on the road for probably about 90 minutes or so. And a majority of Americans are traveling by car, but there's still going to be a huge number of people that are going to the airport and traveling through the sky here. AAA projects that 71.7 million people will travel by car over Thanksgiving, 5.84 million people flying domestically this holiday. I like to avoid airports during times like these, but I cannot help but watch all the local news reports or national news reports even of everybody, all these reporters camped out at the airport doing reports on the hustle and bustle and people being delayed and people being at their worst. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I love consuming the news media during Thanksgiving, Black Friday,
Oh,
that
Black
whole
Friday.
span where and Black Friday's changed a lot because it used to be 10 years ago, people would trample each other to try to get TVs and stuff, which is horrible if you're there. But if you're watching on your own TV, it's like watching gladiators battle, which we're going to get into in a second. And it's really sort of changed. The deals that come out, they're like all month long now,
Yeah, there's already some.
and a lot of them are the sort of the same prices as what you see previously. There's just Black Friday feels kind of dead now. I don't know.
I mean, even in me and Taylor's lifetimes, it's changed so much. I remember when there was actually Black Friday. We got to lock down the doors. You
Mhm.
line up here at 10 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving, so you can be let in at 1 a.m. on Black Friday, that sort of thing. And that just seems dead now because you've got all those sales. You got the big Black Friday sale, but
Well,
if it's not limited or really even marked down all that much, then it's not really there's not really a point to it. And then that continues through Cyber Monday. That's a new thing we created.
I was about to bring up Cyber Monday for sure, but I also am bringing up that people's consumer culture, it's changed to the point where if they find themselves in a brick and mortar retail store these days, they typically are like, what am I in here for? Or what am I doing? Like typically they would browse, but now people are very much, I kind of know what I want if I'm going to go into one of these locations and I'm going to get exactly what I want because I've done my research and compared it online. Or there's those people that still that go into these brick and mortar retail stores and they compare everything they see with the online prices and then they just order it from home from a different site. So it's kind of a we've changed a lot in our consumer culture and Black Friday is very much not what it used to be, but I still eat up all the reports that make it seem like it's this huge deal. So that's where we're at with that. Speaking of huge deals, I've got to touch on this while we've got you in studio here, Taylor. The Tyson Paul fight.
Yes.
This show's called The Meltdown, but it felt like you had a sort of a mini Twitter meltdown, a mini X meltdown while the Tyson Paul fight was going on because you felt like it was kind of a scam, right?
Yeah, it just yes.
Like you were upset for a couple of reasons with it, and there were a lot of people who shared your frustrations about not only the production quality. And tell me if I'm misremembering this, but I mean, you seemed frustrated about not only the quality of the production, but also like the quality of the fight. And now there's class
There's a
action
class
lawsuits.
action lawsuit against Netflix, saying they did not provide the product they said they were. They're
Yeah,
saying that this wasn't a real fight, and
it
even if
wasn't.
it was, you couldn't access it even because of all the issues with the streamer.
Yeah.
It was a week ago. Do you want to get in on this class action lawsuit, make some money? Because
Yeah.
there's a potential here.
I actually won a class action lawsuit a couple weeks ago.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, because my mom brought me my mom, she's perfect, besides the fact that she's leaving for Thanksgiving.
There you,
But
you
she
did it again.
well, no, because she was bringing me she was like, "I'll bring you, breakfast to work," and then she also had a check from a class action lawsuit that got sent to my parents' house. So, yeah, I'm in. I'm wanna know versus class action lawsuits.
Yeah, a class action lawsuit was filed in Florida on Monday against Netflix over alleged streaming issues during the fight. The complaint brought by Hillsborough County resident Ronald Blue Denton alleged breach of contract and unfair deceptive actions on behalf of Netflix when users were faced with an unwatchable live stream during last Friday's event. Netflix calls it the most streamed global sporting event ever. I mean, I guess those numbers would add up. 108 million people worldwide were reported to have seen whatever was being produced there by Netflix during this fight event.
So, is it just a random citizen starting this lawsuit?
That is correct.
I mean, I don't really know. I'm no lawyer, so I don't really know how that works, but I don't I don't really understand how you would win this unless he bought a Netflix subscription just for this fight. You know what I mean? Because it's if you already have it and then you're just hopping on to
No,
watch.
I agree with you. It's going to be an uphill battle. And
Yeah.
Netflix has a very strong team of lawyers that will make sure that they're protected in this. However, the fact that it's just happening in the first place is fascinating. As in the lawsuit, it states, quote, 60 million Americans were hyped to see Iron Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, versus YouTuber turned prize fighter Jake Paul. What they saw was the baddest streaming on the planet. It's like a burn within the lawsuit.
Yeah.
So I love that.
I do too.
Because
Petty.
that was actually a punch that landed, and we saw very few of those in the actual
Yeah,
fight
that's what
there.
pissed me off about it. I was like, I'm just watching two guys hop around a boxing ring for however long.
There's two other guys for you to watch, and that is Theo Vaughn and David Spade are teaming up for a movie where they play busboys or waiters. And this is a movie that's coming out. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I don't know if it'll go to theaters or if it'll be straight to streaming, but it does sound like a Netflix movie, if I've ever heard one. Is this a movie you will support with all of your heart?
Yes. Yes. This will probably be the only movie I watch in whatever the span of however many months when it comes out. Because I haven't watched a movie in this year yet, probably, I don't think.
We were going to go see Twisters.
Yeah.
And then it all fell through because of scheduling with SEC Media Days. So,
Yeah. And I was in.
yes. Or is, what did EG call it? The Tornado Part
The
2?
Tornado Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, close, close. You saw Gladiator Part 2. I saw Gladiator Part 2. We've got our spoiler
The
review.
Colosseum Part 2.
The Colosseum Part 2. Swords and Sandals Part 2. And for me, my non-spoiler thoughts on Gladiator 2. If you're looking very forward to this movie, don't let me destroy your hype. Because for me, I really enjoyed like the first half of this movie. And then I felt like it started to lose some steam. And I don't know if you'll share those sentiments, but if you're really excited for it and maybe you've got it's Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving, half the family's going to see Wicked, you're going to see Gladiator 2. It is a fun time at the theater. I just don't think it's as much of a revelation as maybe what the 2000 Gladiator movie was at the time. And so go in with lower expectations, you'll have way more fun.
I agree. I agree. If you're going in with the expectation that this is as good or could be as good as the original Gladiator, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. Um, Paul Mescal's great as the lead, but I do agree with you that it loses steam over time. Wasn't a fan of the villains, but overall, the action sequences and cinematography were great,
Yeah.
and just make an awesome popcorn movie if you
Yeah.
just want to go and have fun.
If you want a shot of testosterone right to the jugular, this is a movie that delivers that. But I guess I wanted just a little bit more. I guess I was so hyped up. I was like, "No!" And I didn't get what I thought would be the ultimate payoff in the movie. So you guys let us know what you think. We've got our spoiler review coming out with Lance Taylor, and that is a really in-depth discussion. We went about a half hour talking
Oh, yeah.
about the movie and all of its angles. So go see the movie, go check out our spoiler reaction, and I promise that you will have a good time with that. Taylor, any final words here other than your
Yes.
parents have abandoned you?
Yes, I actually have a story about Wicked and Gladiator.
Do tell.
It's well, okay, so yesterday, y'all are very well aware that I don't watch much TV when it's outside of sports.
Correct.
So I have not seen any movies. I've not really ever seen any TV shows just because I don't know, I don't have an interest. And so last night I was doing a radio hit for talking about Auburn, talking about Auburn basketball and football. So they call me, I get on, whatever, and I'm like, okay, I can talk about Auburn football and basketball all day long. And they open up and they're like, okay, Taylor, we have to ask you.
Oh gosh. They just
I
assumed.
don't I don't know, and I don't know these, like, it's not friends of mine or whatever. This is my first time talking to them. And he said, "So my fiance and I have tickets to go see what he started off talking about music and then a soundtrack and then started saying that he and his fiance have these tickets to go see Wicked and Gladiator and all this stuff's out." And he was like, "Thoughts? How excited are you? Have you already seen it? Are you going to see it?" And I was like, "What? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have not seen it and I will never see it probably." So that just made me laugh 'cause I was like, oh, they have no clue.
Yeah, they assumed that you were, for some reason, some sort of musical junkie, and they assumed wrong because, once again, we were talking about our schedules coming up in the month of December or whatever, and I gave you this date where it's a random Wednesday where I'm busy, and you're like, "Oh yeah," and you listed off every sporting event that's
Oh,
happening
yeah.
within 200-mile radius that's going to be nationally televised, and I was like, "That's very impressive." Very impressive, but I would not bring you into these quarters and be like, break down Wicked for us, having not seen it. So we sort of have a mutual understanding that,
Yeah.
especially if it's hot Auburn news that you're looking for, Uncorked, obviously TNR, all the different socials, you're going to see all that stuff there. And I'm hoping that we can talk some good things about Auburn athletics sometime soon
Yeah.
because it does feel like, minus some of the successes with wins on the court, there haven't been a ton of positive things to
Yeah,
say about
no.
Auburn lately.
No.
And I don't want to just bring you in here and be like, "How sad are you?" as an Auburn fan. I'd rather be like, "How sad are you that you're neglected by your parents?" That's
Yeah.
really where I'm at.
I'm fighting a losing battle right now.
You are. But you know what? There's a lot to be thankful for. And Taylor, I know you're thankful to be a proud Auburn Tiger
I am.
alum because win, lose, or draw, you're not running from those colors.
I'm not running.
Okay. Yet.
No, I'm not a fair weather fan.
No, you're not. You're a diehard for sure. Tyler went to Auburn. He's been very public about this.
It's been very public.
He went to Auburn.
Very public.
He went to Auburn, but is an Alabama fan.
One of my
So,
roommates was an Alabama fan.
oh,
Well, she doesn't really she does not spend a ton of time consuming sports. She grew up an Alabama fan because her parents were Alabama fans, but she's not a diehard by any means. She's just like, "What game am I going to? Those are the colors I'll wear." You know, that type of thing. She's
got it.
great. But
So
I
you
was like,
don't hold it personally against her, is what I'm hearing.
no, because she doesn't care enough about it for it to piss me off.
Got it. Okay. Well, look, whether you're an Auburn fan, Alabama fan, you just like winning football games and you want to bet on them, you can do that at our title sponsor. That is mybookie.ag, where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Make sure you use that promo code next round. That's going to help you there. And there's also the casino. And I know everyone talks about it. Taylor, you had a little bit of a run there in blackjack at
Oh,
the
yeah.
MyBookie.ag casino.
Huge
And
blackjack
we
fan.
got to get you back at the tables here very soon. But MyBookie.ag, make sure you sign up so that way you can get the ultimate unlocks there with MyBookie by using that promo code next round. That's going to do it for us here on the Meltdown. So much discussion this week. If you've missed any of it, it's there for you in the library. We also have the podcast going out. If you are one of those millions of Americans that are hitting the road and you want to be fulfilled by that warm embrace of our Meltdown content, you can do so by listening there in the podcast section of your favorite podcast platform. For Tyler, for Lil T, for EG, who's been with us all week long, for Brian Pavlik, Lance Taylor, everyone who has contributed here to the Meltdown, I'm Tim Melton saying have a wonderful weekend, whether you're seeing Wicked or Gladiator.